you for tuning back in to Refine in the Fire. My name is Tracy Renee. I pray that you guys are blessed on today. It's a Sunday, and I just, spending some time with the Lord. I'm outside and I'm reading, and I don't even know. I was about to talk to the Lord, ask him where he wanted me to go. But for some reason, my Bible just came open to Ruth, the 3rd chapter. And my eyes laid on something I wrote in my Bible. And I guess I was writing little notes because my Bible is all marked up because I'm always highlighting something, circling something, underlining. So my Bible is always just looking, So I had wrote, wait in patience. God is faithful. And my eyes just went directly to that. And I was like, wow, God, okay, thank you. And then something said, read. I said, okay, I'm going to read. And the part that I'm on, it even has a title that says, Ruth approaches Boaz at the threshing floor. And I'm like, here we go, God. Because, whenever the Lord is talking to you about Ruth, especially if it's your season. Now, I'm not going to say all the time, not for everybody. But if you're in a particular season, you already know where God is going with all of this. If he's been dealing with you in regards to a husband or marriage or anything like that. And for me, like I said in another video, I'm always like, God, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to think of, because I like to stay focused. And I know sometimes you can start to, idolize marriage if you're not careful. I've been on the other end of that. So it's just I just try to stay focused. I'm like, Lord, and unless he say something to me about it, I try not to really say not too much to him about it. I pray and prepare and things like that. And for him to, continue to shape and mold me into the woman he wants me to be so that I can be a help to my mate when it's time. But I don't go around every day looking for a man and all of that, trying to date people. I'm not in that place, right? I'm in the let me just wait, God, and when it show up, I'll know type of thing, right? So I'm like, here he go. I said, okay, Lord. And he had me start from the bottom of this page and work my way up. So I was looking at, he had me just staring at Ruth 3:18 first. And it says in this, sit still, my daughter. And he had already been telling me to be still and just wait. Like he was going to show me something. He was bringing something to me. But it says, sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day. Now, we know that the Bible is really about the Lord. There are different things that are happening, but ultimately, this is about God's love for us and God's love toward us. But God also wanted me to see that sometimes it's literal. And this, he said, this is literal. This is talking about a man. This is not like nothing spiritual. This is a man. It's saying, sit still, my daughter, until you know how this matter is going to fall. For the man will not be in rest until he had finished this thing this day. We're talking about his character. And I pray about this a lot. I try to be the person that I want in a mate. I'm like, God, prepare me that way. Make me that way. Build this area up in me. Like I know he's dealt with me in compassion, in the area of compassion. I want my mate to also be somebody that's compassionate and loving, reliable, trustworthy. The things that I know that are in me, I want him to be that way as well. Two people together that are like that, it's going to be amazing, what you can do in the earth with two people that are both compassionate, love people, and want to help people. It's going to be amazing at what can be done in the earth, all for the glory of God. Two people that are in God's purpose and plan for their lives, both with that type of a heart. It's no telling how far you can go with that, right? And so when I saw this, I said, wow, this is a man that he can't even rest. He can't even rest until he handle a matter. You got some people that's just sloppy and just the way that they handle things. And I'm going to the Lord said, share this example. So yesterday, you guys, I was at a drive-thru, right? And I had purchased something. And I'm not going to say what I got, y'all, because it was bad. Stuff that I'm not supposed to be eating. But I was treating myself. It was a Saturday. Listen. And so I'm at the drive-thru, right? And I'm getting something. This man says to me, is it okay, sis, if I let you be 4 cents short because I don't have no pennies. That's exactly how he said it, y'all. And I looked at him, and now mind you, he's saying this with a smile on his face. I said, I smiled at him and I said, no. He said, huh? I said, yeah, I would like my change. He said, you want your 4 cents? I said, yes, I'd like my 4 cents. And usually, like I wouldn't have, did that. But God says you got to speak up, because sometimes you don't want to seem mean. Because see, people don't realize that this holiness and this goodness that they see, yes, it's holiness and it's goodness in me because of the Lord and his Holy Spirit. But you really got to be careful, because I don't play no games and I don't have no problem with getting you together. I really don't. And I just don't like disrespect. Okay. And the Lord showed me why that bothered me. He wanted me to talk about it. He said, because as a man, no, let me finish, y'all. So after he said that, right, and he said, okay, then he screamed to the back and said, yo, can you give me some pennies? I'm short, some pennies. He said, and this lady, she want her 4 cents. I guess that's supposed to make me feel bad because I want my 4 cents. So then I said, yeah, I want my change. I said, you can give me a nickel. He said, but then my drawer going to be short. And I said, yes, exactly. And he kind of thought about it and he put his head down because he gets what I'm saying. And I hope y'all get what I'm saying. As a man, I'm telling y'all got to see what I'm saying here. Especially if you dating or you looking to date or court or whatever. A man should not be looking to get something from you all the time. You supposed to come bringing something to the table, not trying to get something out of me. You should be wanting to be short 5 cents or a penny or whatever, rather than having me be short. You see what I'm saying? I'm a stranger to you. You don't know me at all. You don't know me from Adam. And you already asking me for 4 cents. Is it okay if I let you be short? No, it's not okay. That's not okay. It's not okay. And it shouldn't be okay for anybody. Now, see, what he should have said was, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to flip this around just so y'all can see what type of person I am. So y'all don't think I'm just ignorant and crazy or just making a big deal. If he would have said, oh man, I'm out of pennies, miss. Can you give me a minute? I'm going to have to go get some pennies. I would have said, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry. You don't even have to do all that. You see what I'm saying? It's the way you do a thing. It's the way you do a thing. And so when I was looking at this, God brought that back to me. He said, that's a prime example right there. You were able to see something about that person's character. And the reason he put his head down is because in that moment, he got it. He got what you were trying to get at in the moment. That's why he got embarrassed. Because it shows what type of person you are, that you would rather somebody else be short than you be short. You'd rather me be short 4 cents than you be short a penny. That just says a lot about who you are as a person, as a man. Okay. And so when God showed me this, he said, go to this verse. I went up and he said, look what he says to her. This is his character. He said, this is verse 11, y'all, by the way. And it says, and now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people do know that you are a virtuous woman. It's a beautiful thing when somebody can recognize your virtue. Sometimes people see it as a way to get over on you. They see your kindness as a weakness. And sometimes people see your kindness as a benefit, as a blessing, to their life. And they want to bless you in return. Sometimes people see your virtue and they're aware of it. And they want to do something to help you, to assist you. That's a beautiful thing, especially to see in a man. So if it's a man that's trying to approach you and you're not seeing that, that's a red flag. I'm sorry, it's a red flag. He showed me in this, and I'm telling y'all, I would have never picked this topic to talk about. I try to stay away from all of this kind of stuff. But God is like, I want you to talk about something really quick. So this says a lot about a man's character. The fact that he wants to go out of his way to help her. And he said he already knew who she was. See, he already had been watching her. And he said, all the people know that you are a virtuous woman. And so he wasn't looking to take from her. He was looking to give to her. And then if you go down to verse, see, I'm going all over the place because this is how the Lord had me reading it. But then he said, go to verse 15. So when I went to verse 15, he said, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee. And I'm reading from the King James Version because sometimes you just need that KJV. But anyway, he said, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley and laid it on her. And she went into the city. Oh my God. He is blessing her. He is like, let me lay this on you. How can I give to you? Not how can I short you 4 pennies so that I don't be short a penny, but how can I lay this on you? Let me lay this on you. Let me bless you. You know what? It wouldn't have been this, and God is really using this because he keep putting this on my mind as an example. He said, wouldn't it have been really nice if he would have said, you know what? Here's a nickel. If I wouldn't if he wouldn't have even mentioned the pennies and all of that mess, because that's really not, none of my business. I'm here trying to pay for my food. I don't have nothing to do with that. But it wouldn't have been much better if he would have said, and this might seem petty, but I'm telling y'all, this says a lot about a person's character, by how they handle everyday transactions, okay? Wouldn't it have been nice if he would have said, ma'am, here's a nickel because I don't have no pennies. This has happened to me before. I know this happened to y'all before. He said that's the kind of character that he's talking about. Rather than sit here and try to waste time with these pennies and all of that, or have you be short, it's okay. Go ahead and take this nickel. And it might, and I know we just talking about pennies and nickels and dimes and all that stuff, and we just talking about some change and at a drive-through, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but God is saying it's about the character. Sometimes everyday situations will show you somebody's character, what type of person they is. I always say, you want to know something about somebody, listen to what they talk about all day long. If when I talk to you, the only thing that you can converse about is social media, money, and all of that stuff, and how you ready to come up and get the bag and all of that, says a lot about where you are in life and what really matters to you. And when you're somebody that has had a lot of money before, because I have, and when you've been homeless before, because I have, okay, it really changes your perspective on life and things and attaining certain things. And that's why God, above all else, is my main goal. Doing for the kingdom, being involved in the remnant, being involved in what he's doing in the earth. These things are what's important to me now. All of them other things that used to be important to me, I don't really care about that stuff no more, to be honest. If I have nice things, great. If I'm able to get all of these things, get my nails done, hair done, this done, that done, and get a couple outfits and all, great. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's not really my main goal in life. That's not my main concern. Why? Because I've been so many places now. I've seen so many things. That's why I said, when you start praying for the heart of God, you better be careful. Because when you start really seeing this world for what it really truly is, it's going to make you a little sad, and it may make you a little more serious than some people think you should be. But it's because now you know the truth. You know the truth of the matter. While everybody running around blind and asleep, now you've been awakened, and now you know the truth. And so it changes your perspective. It changes your goals and your mission in life. And the things that used to be important are no longer important to you anymore. And so when God is showing me this, he's like, this is all about character. This is not just about meeting a Boaz so he can come buy you a bunch of stuff and do things for you, because all of that is nice. But also it's about the character of a person. And how he said she was a virtuous woman. So he's not doing this for just any Becky, Sue, and Sally. Like, this is a woman of virtue. Ruth was a woman of virtue. She had character. She had, something going for her. It wasn't the materialistic things that she had going for her. It wasn't the type of car she had, the type of house she had, who she, if she was getting the bag, and none of that. She wasn't doing none of that. Okay. She was in his field. She was planted. And God is so good, y'all. Y'all know I had the dream about the field, right? Anyhow, God said, she was planted. She was planted where she was supposed to be. And then she was blessed. Some of us is just in the wrong place. Not necessarily is location like city and state, but sometimes it could be mentally. You just in the wrong place. If you would get in the right place and get in position, then God could bless you the way he want to bless you. You keep saying, give me, give me, give me, but you're not in the right place to receive what he's trying to give you. And the only way you're going to do that is when you get in his word. I'm going to tell you, when you get in his word and when you get in that secret place, then you'll be able to hear from him. I'm going to be honest. The Lord had talked to me about moving to Florida back in 2016. He talked to me about Florida in 2016, and I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, how come every time, because this is when I was really idolizing marriage. And every time I talked to him about a husband, you know what he talked to me about? Florida. And I was like, what that got to do? Because I'm not moving to Florida. What that got to do with me? So then, of course, I thought he's going to be from Florida, or he's going to come here and come like a knight in shining armor and come get me or something. That's all I was focused on. And every time I talked to him about it, that's what he talked to me about. Now, fast forward, when now it wasn't an idol and I wasn't even thinking about it. All I kept saying is, God, I want to be in your will. I want to be in your will. That was my prayer all the time. Almost every night. I always said it. I just want to be in your will, God. I want to be in your plan and your perfect will. What do you have me to do? Where you want me to go? What do you want me to do? And then that's when he started talking to me about Florida again. He said, that's where I want you to go. That's what I want you to do. Can you do that for me? You know, you got to be careful when you talking about send me, I'll go. God, take me higher. I want to go deeper in you and all that. You're like, okay, now here come a test. Let me see if you really about what you talking about. Even men, they talk a good game, but when it comes time to actually doing a thing, what are you actually doing? Are you actually does your faith move your feet, or are you just doing a whole lot of talking? So this is the thing, like God is trying to see, like, do you actually do, or are you going to do what I asked you to do? And if you get in position and you do what he asked you to do, then you can be available to receive the blessing. It's as simple as that. It's just being in position, being where you need to be when you need to be there. And that's what Ruth did. She was where she was supposed to be at the right time, you know, and he blessed her. And then, of course, we know he married her. But I mean, this is about this is about the man's character. And I know for a lot of women, we want to meet somebody that's going to take care of us and do all these things. But God is really allowing me to see, and he's been doing that for years now. That's why I'm like, when I talk to some women and we're having conversation about what we want in a mate, and I'm always like, that's not what I want. A lot of things that people are concerned with don't concern me, only because I've had a lot of things. I've been a lot of places. I've been without as well. So having a man that have all of this stuff don't really excite me. I'm more concerned with your character. Are you connected with God? Or do you have a real relationship with God? Do you actually hear from him? Do you move when he say move? Are you in position the way he needs you to be in position? Are you in your purpose? Those kind of things. Are you trying to grow in your purpose? Though, you know, whether or not you got all of these materialistic things, that stuff can come and go. You know, you can have a lot of money today and be broke and bankrupt tomorrow. Anything can happen, y'all. I mean, I don't know why people think that they can attain all of this stuff and that means everything is okay. No, it's not. But if you have a true relationship with the Lord, and you're really in your purpose and you're in his plan for your life, you can't fail. You can't fail. You can't lose. You won't lose. He's not going to let you lose when you're in position like that. So there's certain things about a man that's really important, and also about you. You shouldn't just be looking to take from somebody. What can I get from you? I'm going to be honest, y'all. A lot of men don't want help. You say you want to help me, but you don't really want help because you think you could just do everything by yourself. You don't really want help. They get offended. They get on a defense when they think that you might know a little bit more in a certain area. You know, I'm like, well, if you don't need help, then you don't need to help me. And same thing with women. Some of us can be so overly independent. God had to get me out of that. I wonder why I had to go through some of the things I had to go through, because I'm telling you, this woman right here, I was very, very big on being independent. been working since before I was supposed to be working. It was instilled in me from early on. That's how I grew up. Like, always had a job, always was working, always was like, I got to get, attain this so I can get to this and get to that and get to that. Always had a path to have a plan and have things organized. And guys, like, I'm about to break all that off. I need to tear everything down and start all over with you, because a lot of that independence, a lot of that is coming from brokenness. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be independent and having your own. But when you do it because it's a defense mechanism, because you've been either abandoned or rejected, and now I'm going to have, and because ain't nobody going to ever have me be without, and I'm not going to never have to ask nobody for nothing, and I'm going to have my own. When it's like that, God has to break that off, because he wants you to want things for the right reasons. Okay, so it's nothing wrong with having things and being independent and having a good job and having your own place and all. There's nothing wrong with that as an adult, it's nothing wrong with that. But when it's your end all be all and that's all you think about all the time, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. And so God had to break that off of me to show me that, one, it's also to humble you too, to show you that, one, you're going to need somebody. I don't care what you say. I ain't going to never need nobody. No, you're going to need somebody at some point in time in your life. You're never going to go through life for the rest of your life and not need somebody for something. Because if you're like that with people, you're like that with God. And then that's a problem. When you just want to do something, you always got to be doing something, going somewhere, doing this. Let me take care of it. Let me do it. It's like, oh my gosh, are you going to let him lead you or not? And the same thing in a marriage. If you want to do everything all the time, how is the man going to come in and lead? That's why some people struggle with surrendering certain things to their husband, because they've been doing everything for so long, and it's not anybody's fault. It's just like sometimes that's our defense mechanism. That's from hurt and abandonment and different issues and things we went through life. But God is saying, in order for me to take you into this marriage, or just take you higher in him, he has to break that off of you. That false entitlement, that false independent attitude where you going to just do it all. I'm going to take over, because if that's the case, then you don't need to be married. Same thing with a husband. I know some men that they don't even want their wife to decorate. They want to do everything. I said, you don't need to help me. You are the wife. You don't need a wife. You the husband and a wife. They want to decorate. They want to cook the meals. They want to wash the clothes. I mean, it's like you want to do it all. And there's nothing wrong with, having a man that want to do those things. You got to know what God has for you. If he hasn't revealed it to you, then that's something different. He told me the person was already set aside back when I first got saved. He said that's why he told me I had to come out of the relationship I was in. He said, because he already had somebody set aside for me. Set aside. And I always thought set aside meant like in ministry. I didn't know like you set aside somebody, so when people say you got to go find your husband and wife and God don't pick and choose, well, I'm going to have to disagree with that, because God told me something different. So I'm that's not to say you can't go pick and choose. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying that, there are certain instances where, yes, God pick and chooses a wife, just like in this Bible, okay, where Ruth was for Boaz, Boaz was for Ruth. This ain't like some happenstance where, he picked her, because no, this was the way it was supposed to be. This was set up by God. God set this up like this. This wasn't like, oh, you was just walking down the street and, oh, you just so happened to find. No, this was set up this way on purpose. For a purpose, okay? So if you want to just go out there, shooting in the dark, then that's fine. That's on you. You want to go out there with your eyes closed, and just picking stuff, then that's fine. But, it's not really fine, but that's how you want to live life, then that's on you. But me personally, I feel like God will draw you to the person that's for you when you're in alignment. He's too creative to have you out here just fumbling around like, I guess I'll just fall into this type of relationship, because he even told me, y'all, and this is off topic. I don't know why God got me talking about this mess, but it's not mess, but why he got me talking, because I don't really like talking about this. But anyway, he told me in the beginning, he said, you can't just marry anybody. This is not about you. And I was like, what? Y'all gotta remember, I had just came to the Lord. I grew up in church and all of that, but I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't know Jesus. So this is the new transformed Tracy. This is I'm fresh. I'm a babe in Christ, right? I'm still on milk, okay? And he's like, this not about you. I'm like, well, who is about? This is my life. What do you mean it's not about me? It's all about me. He like, oh my, he probably said, wow, this girl is really crazy. And so, but I was like, what do you mean? He said, this is not about you. And that's when he said, I've already set someone aside for you. And so that made me think like, wow. So then every person that I've dated or talked to or was in relationship up until this point I'm not going to say it was a waste of time, but they weren't who I was supposed to be with. That's why a lot of things didn't work out, because that was not God's plan. And sometimes we have to realize that God does have a plan for our life. When he says it's written, it's done. It's done. The time you were going to be born to the time you die has already been written. It's already been written. So for us to say God don't have any idea who you're going to marry or who you're going to meet, and you just go out there and you just up and find somebody, I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. I don't agree with that. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but I'm just saying for certain people, God has a specific, especially when it comes to ministry and when it comes to his purpose and plan, he has somebody set aside just for you. Because he has a plan and a purpose for your life together, especially if it's ministry. So it's not by happenstance. He's not like leaving this up to you. Because if that was the case, God would have said, well, just go out and find somebody that's saved. I met a lot of godly, good godly men. So for the women that's saying there's none out here, I don't know where y'all at. I don't know. But everywhere I've ever been, I meet, nice people all the time. But that don't mean that that's the person for me. Sometimes you got to look at how you carry yourself too, and see, why you're attracting certain things. Because I had to do that at one point. And sometimes, how you carry yourself have a lot to do with who you're attracting as well. So when you want to attract different types of people, sometimes you might have to, do some cleaning up in your own life in the way that you carry yourself. And then also, with the places you go to and hang out at, you got to think about, what do you do? Where do you go? And so I meet, I've met godly men, nice men that were not the one for me. They weren't the one. And God revealed it. That's not it. That's a great person. That's a great godly man and everything, but that's not the one for you. So if that wasn't, so when people say you can just pick anybody, you just get with somebody, some random person, I personally, I don't believe that that's how it should be. But to each his own. I don't know how I got on this topic, you guys, but y'all need to read Ruth 3, men and women, because it really is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful passage, and it shows a lot about the character of Boaz. It shows a lot about her character as well. I love when it says she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay her down. I underline she came softly. Sometimes, we go through so much as women. Sometimes we lose that softness about us. There's a edginess to me where I'm not, playing no games. But then there's also a softness. And that's why sometimes, I know when somebody is taking my kindness for a weakness, because they see that as an opportunity to get over. You know what I mean? They don't look at it like, oh, here, you are a virtuous woman. You know what I'm saying? And so let me, it's almost like, oh, you a godly woman. Let me see if there's a way that I can get over and try out of your 4 cents, or, or this is a way where I know you're going to give me something or help me or do something like that. Instead of let me find a way to bless you or to help you, because of this. So this is beautiful. I don't know what else to say to it, but I pray that you guys are all blessed. I pray that you are all being encouraged and that you're being refined in the fire more and more every day. I love you so much. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so that you can be notified when I post a new video, and I will see you soon. Bye.